Imagine a world without the games that shaped our favorite pastime. From the ones that introduced revolutionary mechanics to those that redefined entire genres, these titles didn't just change the way we play, they changed the way we think about gaming. Today, I'll be showcasing some of the groundbreaking games that changed gaming forever. Ready to see what made these legends stand out? Let's get started! First up, we've got Hades, and oh boy, did Supergiant Games hit it out of the park with this one. This game took the roguelike genre and turned it on its head, blending punishing gameplay with a narrative so rich, you'd think you were drinking a fine wine. Every run through the underworld isn't just about getting stronger or unlocking new weapons. It's about unraveling the complex relationships between Greek gods and mythological figures. The genius here is how the story unfolds organically through your repeated escape attempts. You'll die a lot, but each death pushes the narrative forward, revealing new dialogue, deepening relationships, and uncovering more of the game's mysteries. The combat is silky smooth with a huge variety of weapons and godly boons that let you create some truly broken builds. But what really sets Hades apart is how it makes failure feel like progress. Every run, successful or not, feels meaningful. It's addictive in the best way possible, always leaving you wanting just one more escape attempt. This game showed the industry that roguelikes don't have to sacrifice story for gameplay. You can have your ambrosia and drink it too. This blend of narrative and gameplay innovation isn't limited to the indie scene, though. Nintendo took a similar approach with their beloved franchise in The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. While Hades confined players to the underworld, Breath of the Wild threw open the doors to a vast and open kingdom of Hyrule. This isn't just another open-world game. It's a breathing, living playground where your imagination is the only limit. Want to climb that mountain in the distance? Go for it. Feel like shield surfing down a snowy slope? Knock yourself out. The game's physics engine is so robust and consistent that players are still discovering new tricks and techniques years after release. It's a world that rewards curiosity and experimentation at every turn. The freedom of movement is exhilarating. You can climb almost any surface, glide from great heights, and even use the wind to your advantage. But what really sets Breath of the Wild apart is how it trusts the player. There's no hand-holding here. The game gives you all the tools you need in the first hour, and then sets you loose in its vast world. It's up to you to figure out how to use those tools creatively to solve puzzles, defeat enemies, and uncover secrets. This approach to game design has influenced countless titles since, pushing developers to create more immersive, interactive worlds. Breath of the Wild didn't just raise the bar for open-world games, it strapped a rocket to that bar and sent it to the moon. Speaking of vast open worlds, let's shift from Hyrule's sprawling landscapes to the gritty streets of Revachol in Disco Elysium. While Breath of the Wild gave players physical freedom, Disco Elysium offered an unprecedented level of narrative freedom. This isn't your typical RPG where you're swinging swords or slinging spells. No, in Disco Elysium, your greatest weapon is your mind. And sometimes it's your worst enemy too. The game's unique skill system turns your character's thoughts and abilities into distinct personalities, arguing with you and each other as you navigate a gritty, politically charged murder mystery. The depth of the writing is staggering. Every conversation is a delicate dance of ideas, political ideologies, and personal demons. And the choices? Oh boy, the choices. They're not just good or evil. They're complex, morally ambiguous decisions that shape your character and the world around you in profound ways. Disco Elysium showed the industry that video games can be a medium for deep, thought-provoking storytelling that rivals the best literature. It pushed the boundaries of what we expect from game narratives, proving that sometimes the most epic quests are the ones that take place in the battlefield of the mind. From the complex narrative webs of Disco Elysium, we move to a game that thrives on simple storytelling but complex social dynamics. Among Us took the gaming world by storm with its straightforward premise and engaging multiplayer. Now, social deduction games weren't new when Among Us came out, but what Innersloth did was strip the concept down to its bare essentials, and then release it into the wild at just the right moment. The beauty of Among Us lies in its simplicity. Complete tasks or identify the imposter. That's it. But within that simple framework lies a game of psychological warfare that would make Sun Tzu proud. The tension of trying to complete your tasks while wondering if that other crewmate is about to knife you in the back is palpable. And if you're the imposter, the thrill of sabotage and misdirection is unmatched. What really made Among Us a phenomenon was how it brought people together during a time when we were all forced apart. Its accessibility, simple graphics, easy-to-learn mechanics, and cross-platform play meant that anyone could jump in and start accusing their friends of murder in no time. It showed the industry the power of simplicity and how a well-timed release can catapult a game into the cultural zeitgeist. Among Us didn't just popularize social deduction games, it created a whole new category of streamer content and memes. Not bad for a game about colorful beans doing space chores. While Among Us brought people together through lighthearted suspicion and betrayal, our next game united players through a shared emotional journey. The Last of Us Part 2 pushed the boundaries of storytelling and character development in a very different way. Naughty Dog took the foundation laid by the first game and built a narrative skyscraper on top of it, challenging players' expectations and emotions at every turn. This isn't just a story about survival in a post-apocalyptic world. It's a deep, often uncomfortable exploration of the cycle of violence, the nature of revenge, and the complexities of human relationships. The game doesn't just tell you a story, it makes you feel it, viscerally. The attention to detail in both the storytelling and the gameplay is staggering. Characters feel real, with their own motivations, flaws, and growth arcs. The world is richly detailed, telling its own stories through environmental storytelling. And the gameplay? Well, it's brutal, intense, and deeply interconnected with the narrative themes. Every act of violence has weight. Every decision feels consequential. The Last of Us Part 2 showed the industry that video games can tackle complex, mature themes with nuance and depth. It pushed the boundaries of what we expect from video game narratives, proving that games can evoke the same range of emotions as the best films or novels. Love it or hate it, there's no denying the impact this game had on raising the bar for storytelling in the medium. From the gritty realism of post-apocalyptic America, let's leap into a world of pure imagination. Super Mario Odyssey took the platforming genre in a completely different direction, proving that innovation can also mean a return to joyful, colorful creativity. The transformative mechanics centered around Mario's sentient hat cappy aren't just a gimmick. They're a revolution in how we interact with game worlds. One minute you're Mario, the next you're a T-Rex, a stack of Goombas, or even a zipper. Yeah, a zipper. And it's crazy in the best way possible. Each kingdom is a densely packed wonderland of secrets and challenges, rewarding curiosity and experimentation at every turn. The level design is nothing short of genius, with each area feeling distinct and memorable. But what really sets Odyssey apart is how it caters to all skill levels. Casual players can enjoy the whimsical story and collect enough moons to progress, while hardcore gamers can dive deep into the game's more challenging aspects. It's a masterclass in game design that shows how a long-running series can reinvent itself while staying true to its roots. Odyssey didn't just refresh the 3D platformer genre, it strapped a rocket to its back and sent it soaring to new heights. Speaking of soaring to new heights, few games have reached the cultural stratosphere quite like Fortnite. While Mario was reinventing single-player platforming, Epic Games was redefining multiplayer experiences. Epic Games didn't just make a game, they created a platform for shared experiences. The building mechanics added a whole new dimension to the shooter genre, allowing for on-the-fly strategic thinking that goes beyond just point and shoot. Fortnite also broke new ground with its live events. These weren't just simple in-game occurrences, they were full-blown spectacles that millions of players experienced simultaneously. From rocket launches to giant robot battles to concerts by real-world artists, Fortnite blurred the lines between game and social space. It became a digital hangout spot, a place where people went not just to play, but to be. The constant updates and crossovers kept the game fresh, turning it into an ever-evolving platform rather than a static product. It's really impressive to watch this game showing its power as a service, and how virtual spaces can become just as important as physical ones for social interaction. It's not just a game, it's a cultural touchstone that has influenced everything from dance moves to marketing strategies. If Fortnite brought players together in a single, ever-changing world, our next game took the concept of space to its logical extreme. No Man's Sky promised an entire universe of possibilities. The game's use of procedural generation to create a virtually infinite universe was unprecedented in scope. Every planet, every creature, every starship is unique, creating a true sense of discovery as you explore. But what's really impressive is how the game has evolved. Through numerous free updates, No Man's Sky has transformed from a solitary exploration game into a rich, multiplayer experience with base building, space fleets, and even entire player-created civilizations. It's a testament to the power of persistence and the potential of games as evolving platforms. No Man's Sky showed the industry that it's not just about how you launch, it's about how you grow and adapt to player feedback. It's a shining example of how games can recover from a rocky start and blossom into something truly special. No Man's Sky opened up new possibilities for creating vast, diverse game worlds through procedural generation. From the infinite expanse of space, let's narrow our focus to a single mysterious building. Control took the concept of a detailed, interactive environment and cranked it up to 11. The oldest house, the ever-shifting, brutalist building where the game takes place, is a character in its own right. Its dynamic environments aren't just for show. They're an integral part of both the gameplay and the storytelling. Hurling chunks of concrete at enemies or using office furniture as a shield feels incredibly satisfying, thanks to the game's robust physics system. But what really sets Control apart is its commitment to its bizarre, surreal world. The game doesn't hold your hand or over-explain. It trusts the player to piece together its mysteries through exploration and discovery. From redacted documents to eerie multimedia presentations, every corner of the oldest house has a story to tell. Control is an example on how to create a truly immersive interactive world where the environment is just as important as the characters. It pushed the boundaries of environmental storytelling and demonstrated how gameplay mechanics can be seamlessly integrated with narrative themes. In doing so, it opened up new possibilities for creating cohesive, believable game worlds where the environment is just as important as the characters. While Control challenged players with its mysterious environment, our next game challenged players in a very different way. Dark Souls took difficulty to new heights, redefining player expectations. Dark Souls isn't hard for the sake of being hard. It's demanding because it respects the player's intelligence and perseverance. Every enemy encounter is a potential death sentence, every boss a formidable wall to overcome. But with each failure comes knowledge, and with knowledge comes power. The sense of accomplishment you get from finally defeating that boss that's been kicking your butt for hours? Unparalleled. But Dark Souls is more than just its difficulty. Its intricate level design, with shortcuts and interconnected areas, turned the game world into one giant, deadly puzzle box. And let's not forget the lore. It's deep, mysterious, and largely told through item descriptions and environmental details. It respects the player's ability to piece together the story themselves. Dark Souls' influence can be seen in countless games since. From the obvious Souls-like genre it spawned, to more subtle influences in combat systems and world design across the industry. It showed developers that players are willing to be challenged, to engage deeply with game systems and narratives. From the intricate, interconnected world of Dark Souls, we move to a game that took the concept of an interconnected world to a cosmic scale. Mobius Digital took the concept of an open-world game and literally made it universal. You're given a rickety spaceship, 22 minutes until the sun goes supernova, and a whole solar system to explore. That's it. No upgrades, no new abilities, just you, your curiosity, and a mystery that spans time and space. The genius of Outer Wilds lies in how it treats knowledge as the ultimate progression system. Each loop, you learn a little more about the ancient alien civilization you're investigating, about the nature of the universe you're in, and about how everything is interconnected. The moment when you start to see how all the pieces fit together, pure gaming magic. And let's talk about that solar system. Each planet is a handcrafted wonder with its own quirks and secrets. From a planet that's constantly falling apart and rebuilding itself, to twin planets connected by a column of sand, the creativity on display is staggering. Outer Wilds emphasized that you don't need massive open worlds or complex progression systems to create a compelling exploration experience. It proved that curiosity can be the most powerful motivator, and that players are willing to engage deeply with complex, intertwining narratives and systems. If Outer Wilds showed us the power of discovery, our next game, Journey, showed us the power of emotional connection through minimalist design. Developer That Game Company stripped away all the usual trappings of video games, dialogue, combat, even a traditional narrative, and created something truly unique. You're a robed figure in a vast desert with a mountain looming in the distance. That's it. But within this simple premise lies a deeply moving experience. The game's visual design is stunning, using color and scale to create moments of awe and wonder. The soundtrack, which responds dynamically to your actions, is nothing short of magical. But where Journey really innovates is in its approach to multiplayer. You can encounter other players on your journey, but you can't communicate through traditional means, only through musical chimes and movement. This creates a unique bond between players, fostering cooperation and emotional connection without words. The way the game guides you through its emotional beats without explicit storytelling is masterful. Journey is a prime example that games can be a form of artistic expression, capable of evoking deep emotions through pure gameplay and audio-visual design. From Journey's emotional simplicity, we leap into the complex, challenging world of Returnal. This game took the roguelike genre into the next generation, both technically and narratively. You're Selene, an astronaut trapped in a time loop on a hostile alien planet. Each death sends you back to the crash site, but the planet reconfigures itself each time. The gameplay is tight and responsive, with a risk-reward system that keeps you on your toes. Do you grab that parasitic upgrade that boosts your stats but has a nasty side effect? Every decision matters, but what really sets Returnal apart is how it uses the PS5's capabilities to enhance the experience. The haptic feedback and adaptive triggers make each weapon feel unique, while the 3D audio immerses you in the alien world. And those load times? Practically non-existent, keeping you in the flow of the game. The way Returnal weaves its mysterious narrative through roguelike mechanics is truly innovative, showing that this genre can support deep, complex storytelling. It pushed the boundaries of what we expect from next-gen gaming, both in terms of technical performance and gameplay design. Now, challenging games are not everyone's cup of tea, which is why Hazelight Studios' It Takes Two redefined cooperative play by making teamwork the core of both its gameplay and narrative. You and a partner play as a couple on the brink of divorce, shrunken down and forced to work together to return to normal. This game constantly introduces new mechanics and minigames, never letting you get comfortable with any one playstyle. 1 minute you're platforming, the next you're in a Diablo-style dungeon crawler, then you're playing a fighting game. It's like if a game design textbook came to life and decided to take you on the wildest ride of your life. But it's not just variety for variety's sake. Each new mechanic ties into the story and the characters' relationship. The game forces you to communicate and cooperate in ways that mirror the character's journey. It Takes Two showcased how co-op games can be more than just two people playing side by side. They can be experiences that are fundamentally about the interaction between players. Expanding the concept of teamwork from 2 players to entire squads, Overwatch exploded onto the scene with its colorful, chaotic world of hero-based combat. Blizzard's hero shooter brought a new level of character to the multiplayer scene. With its diverse cast of heroes, each with unique abilities and playstyles, Overwatch isn't just about who has the best aim, it's about team composition, strategy, and adapting to the enemy team. The game's focus on objectives, rather than just kills, encourages teamwork and strategy over lone wolf tactics. But what really sets Overwatch apart is its world building. Despite being a multiplayer-only game at launch, it created a rich universe through character interactions, animated shorts, and comics. Each hero feels like a fully realized character with their own motivations and backstories. Overwatch paved the way for a new generation of character-based multiplayer games, pushing the boundaries of what we expect from competitive shooters. Trading futuristic arenas for the dusty plains of the Old West, Red Dead Redemption 2 took us back in time with unparalleled realism. Rockstar Games created a living, breathing world that's so detailed. This isn't just an open world, it's a time machine that transports you to the dying days of the Old West. The attention to detail is staggering, from the way mud builds up on your horse's flanks to how your beard grows in real time. And that's not all. Its story also excels. While it's on a slow burn side, the way the camp evolves over time, the random encounters that feel anything but random, it all comes together to create a sense of place that's unparalleled in gaming. And let's not forget the characters. Arthur Morgan's journey is one of the most compelling character arcs in gaming history, brought to life by fantastic writing and performances. It is not surprising why Red Dead Redemption 2 is regarded as one of the best games of all time. It managed to showcase how it's possible to push the boundaries of open-world design and storytelling. This game surely sets the bar for what players expect in terms of world interactivity and narrative depth in open-world games. Leaping from the untamed wilderness to a fractured, post-apocalyptic America, Death Stranding reimagined the open-world concept in a completely unique direction. You will be playing as Sam Porter Bridges, a courier in a post-apocalyptic America where the dead linger between worlds. And your job is to reconnect society by delivering packages and building infrastructure. It sounds simple, but in true Kojima fashion, it's anything but. The game turns the act of walking into a complex, engaging mechanic. Balancing your cargo, plotting your route, crafting tools to cross difficult terrain, it all matters. Apart from that, Death Stranding's true innovation lies in its asynchronous multiplayer. Structures built by players can appear in others' worlds, fostering a sense of indirect cooperation that's truly unique. It's as if social media became a force for unity rather than division. The game's themes of connection and isolation, particularly resonant in our increasingly digital world, are woven seamlessly into every aspect of the gameplay. Death Stranding pushed the boundaries of what we consider fun in games, proving that even seemingly mundane tasks can be engaging when imbued with meaning and connected to a larger purpose. Scaling down from Death Stranding's grand vision, Celeste offered a more intimate experience, infusing the precision platformer genre with a touching story about mental health. Maddie Makes Games took the challenging nature of platformers and used it as a metaphor for overcoming personal struggles. Players guide Madeline as she climbs the titular mountain, battling not just obstacles, yet also her inner demons. Literally. The gameplay is tight and demanding, with each screen presenting a new puzzle to solve using a limited moveset. What sets Celeste apart is how it integrates its themes into the gameplay. The difficulty isn't merely for challenge's sake. It mirrors Madeline's struggle with anxiety and self-doubt. The game encourages perseverance, while also reminding players that it's okay to take a break. The introduction of assist mode, allowing players to adjust various aspects of the game's difficulty, serves as a masterclass in accessibility design. Celeste pushed the boundaries of narrative integration in platformers and opened up conversations about mental health in gaming. From Celeste's modern take on 2D platforming, Hollow Knight brought a new level of artistry and depth to exploration-based gameplay. Team Cherry took the Metroidvania formula and elevated it to an art form. Players control a small bug knight, exploring the vast, interconnected underground kingdom of Hallownest. The hand-drawn art style is breathtaking, creating a world that's simultaneously beautiful and melancholic. The combat is precise and challenging, requiring players to learn enemy patterns and time their strikes perfectly. Hollow Knight's world design truly sets it apart. Each area feels distinct and memorable, with its own atmosphere and secrets to uncover. The game's approach to lore, doling out information through environmental storytelling and cryptic NPC dialogue, creates a sense of mystery that propels players forward. The boss battles serve as a highlight, each one a unique challenge that tests everything players have learned. Hollow Knight is a showcase of how indie games can compete with AAA titles in terms of depth, polish, and content. Transitioning from Hollow Knight's intricate 2D world to intense 3D combat, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice sharpened from Software's challenging gameplay to a razor's edge. The developers took their signature difficult gameplay and refined it, creating a combat system centered on precision and timing. Players engage in intense duels where every parry and counterattack carries weight. The posture system, which focuses on breaking an opponent's stance rather than merely depleting their health, creates a unique flow to combat that feels both strategic and visceral. Beyond combat, Sekiro's level design encourages vertical exploration in a way few action games achieve. Grappling between rooftops and cliff faces adds a new dimension to how players approach encounters. The resurrection mechanic introduces an extra layer of strategy to difficult encounters, allowing players to approach challenges with a new mindset. Sekiro is the best example that there's always still room for innovation in action game combat systems. To be honest, I was pretty overwhelmed on how the developer properly implemented the parry system as the main highlight. And there you have it, folks. This diverse lineup of games showcases the incredible breadth and depth of innovation in the gaming industry. From indie darlings to AAA blockbusters, from narrative innovations to mechanical breakthroughs, these games represent the ever-evolving nature of our medium. They challenge us, move us, and show us new possibilities for what games can be. So, did you enjoy watching this video? If yes, please do consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.